Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. If you're a Jotform user, you already know how powerful the platform is. Forms, workflows, submissions, analytics. And if you're a Claude user, you know how easy it is to think through a problem, draft an idea, or get something done. Now, imagine having both in the same place at the same time. That is the Jotform connector for Claude. Without ever leaving your Claude conversation, you can build a fully structured form from a single sentence. Edit it on the fly, browse your existing forms, dig into your submissions, and get instant, actionable insights from your data. It's your entire Jotform account, accessible right in Claude. No switching tabs and no interrupting your flow. Just ask, and it is done. It's your Jotform account accessible to anyone who already lives in Claude. Now your forms and data are where you need them. You ready to see it in action? Kimberly, take it away.
Thanks, Chad. Hey, everyone, I'm Kimberly, and it's officially time to jump into our demo. So as you can see, I'm currently at Claude.ai on my desktop, and it is really simple to get Claude connected with Jotform. And of course, as always, there is no coding knowledge needed whatsoever. So on the left-hand side of my screen, I'm going to come over here. Let's expand our sidebar, and I'm going to come down here to customize. And on this page, we can either connect to apps or we can create a new skill. Of course, for this, we want to connect to Jotform, and in a minute you're going to see this is going to be called a connector. So let's go ahead and search for Jotform as a connector. On this page you can read more information about it, but I'm going to go ahead and connect. Now, one thing in this part is it's going to look to see if you are already signed into Jotform somewhere else on your desktop. So you can see it's already connected me. I didn't have to sign in or anything. So as long as you're signed in somewhere else and you go through this process, it's going to be a seamless process. Now, before we jump into chat, I'm actually going to click on the connectors option right over here. We're going to choose Jotform. And one thing you want to make sure is that all of these are on always allow. This is going to allow the process to flow seamlessly. You're not going to have to grant authorization, give permission. If you want it to create a form, it's going to create a form for you. But we're going to cover almost all of these things today in the demo. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and choose to create a brand new chat. And one neat thing about this is you don't have to call on Jotform. You just type in your prompt and it's going to know that that's what you're looking for. So I'm going to say, can you show me a list of my forms, typos and all? It's going to know what you're looking for. All right, so you can see, first I'm going to do always allow. So that way, again, it's going to always allow it. It's going to look at my workspace and it's going to give me all of my active forms. Perfect. So you can see found 20 forms, shows me what it ranges through. Perfect. So if you want to open one of these forms and take a look at it or edit a form that you already have, you can absolutely do that within Claude. But for now, let's go ahead and let's create a brand new form. Let's say I'd like to make an RSVP form for a team outing on May 28th at the park. Let's see what it does with that. I'm not telling it what fields or anything. I'm just giving it a very basic prompt. So we'll see what it comes back with. And of course, you can see it's creating the form, it's adding those questions in. And one nice thing is you're going to get a preview of the form right here in the chat thread. And you're also going to get a link to take you to that form, which is kind of nice. So we can see that we have dietary restrictions was right here. Let's go ahead and open the form so we can take a look at it. All right, how many guests, dietary restrictions. Okay, so now we have an idea of what is on that form. So let's go ahead and make some edits. I'm going to say this is just a team outing. We're not going to be expecting any guests. So I'm going to say, can you remove the question about guests? So this is going to be the editing. It's going to be doing some edits. We can add, we can remove, you can edit the language in the form. You can change the type of question. Maybe you want it to be a long text box instead of a short text box. You can absolutely do that. And after this, let's go ahead and make this big. Perfect. Good deal. I'm going to make a change to the dietary restrictions, and I'm going to show you that you can easily add in conditional logic. So I'm going to say, I'd like for the dietary restriction question to be hidden unless they say they will be attending. All right. So when we open this up now, that question should be gone. It should be hidden, and it should only show if the person completing the form chooses yes, because we don't need to know dietary restrictions for someone who isn't going to be attending. So let's go ahead and pop this open. So let's say no. Perfect. It stays like that. Yes, we have dietary restrictions or food allergies. Perfect. All right, those are some edits. Let's do some design changes. Can you make the page background black and the submit button pink? Now, if you want the form background, so the form is what all your questions sit on. So right now that is white and the page background is gray. So I want the page background to be black and then that submit button to be pink as well. So we'll see those design changes. Then we'll kind of jump into looking at submissions, maybe analyzing those submissions as well. All right, let's go ahead and make it bigger. All right, page background is black, submit button is pink. Perfect. All right, I'd like to look at the submissions on my hotel feedback form. Perfect, new skill, always allow. Just going to look at my workspace, all the different things. And here is perfect, all the submissions. Now, if we want, we can, open and look at it in Jotform, but I want it to analyze. We can see if you want me to filter, analyze, or do anything else with these submissions. Let's do, can you analyze for me? Yep, always allow. You know what? One thing I forgot we're going to have to go back and do, you can even do a test submission. So once we get done with this, we'll go back and we'll ask it to do a test submission with the park RSVP or the team outing RSVP. So that way you can make sure that the forms that are created with Claude do in fact work and you get the data correctly. Okay. So potential data issue. You have recent low ratings accompanied by lorem ipsum. So it looks like these might be test submissions. You might want to check that out. So I love that it is telling me that. So of course, this form that I'm pulling from is a form that I use weekly in our Jotform 101 webinar. So it's basically all me filling out this form. So that's kind of funny that it actually pulled that. Overwhelmingly positive feedback, recent dip. It's probably a quality issue, a data issue, and not an actual service detail. Okay. Are there things that I may be missing that can make my business run better? Sometimes when I'm looking at things like this, you're going to miss things when you have a ton of data coming in. So having something like this to ask questions like this, like, what am I missing? Give me the bigger picture that I'm probably missing something. How can I make my business run better? So let's see what it says in regards to that. All right, we got some key gaps. Perfect. We got a blind spot for travel agency. I'm not tracking which travel agencies. I should probably be doing that. Conditional logic, shorter triggered questions. Perfect. Yeah. Really, really good. You can continue going on. You can dive into just the gaps or just recommendations. And you can even make the edits that it suggests to the form while you are right here within Claude. Okay, that is perfect. Now, again, also coming back up here, you saw you can filter. So you can say, hey, show me just the submissions that were chosen or that were filled out that chose travel agency or social media. So that way you get a better understanding of that, those submissions as well. Okay, let's go back and let's do that test submission. Can you do a test submission for the form you just created for me? Let's see if it, because we were talking about a different form. Let's see if it goes back to that beginning form that we were working on. So it can do a test submission for us. Looks like it's submitting. Perfect. Alex Johnson. So we can see what that looks like here, but we can also view it in our inbox, and it's giving us a link. So let's go ahead and open that up. Perfect. All right. This is great. Alex Johnson, yes, they'll be attending, no restrictions. And look at their comment. They are really excited about the team outing on May 28th. That's so exciting. But it really is as simple as that. If you have any additional questions about how to connect or all the different things that you can do, definitely check out all of our help articles and videos that we have surrounding Claude. If you need more support or more help, definitely connect with our support team. It's jotform.com/contact. They're available 24/7, and they'll be able to answer your questions. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.